Sibylla and jealous. Also, George could be lying.
Oh, no. Well, I'm sure you'll all be very pleased to hear that I've ended things with George. Good decision.
On the other hand, you might find intimacy with George a nice distraction. And he might know more about the video than he's letting on.
Well, I'm not going to go and see him. However, there is a chance that Reverend Chance might know something.
I'll come with you. Patricia was 100% laying into me the other day for neglecting my parishioners, wasn't she, Harry?
Was she? No, yes, she was.
Agatha, now Sibylla's the prime suspect. Charles and I don't need to go on that wellness day.
Yes, probably a waste of time now, I would have thought.
What?
Do help yourself to one of Maggie's jam donuts. No nuts or sweeteners in case you're allergic.
Had a...
Donations for the new community hall are flooding in.
I don't suppose you were aware of any enmity between Sibylla and the doctor, were you?
No. Oh, poor dear Sibylla. I saw her just hours before it happened.
Sibylla was at Chloe's grave yesterday. Arthur tried to help her, to get her to talk, but...
Yes. I mean, she's still so terribly cut up since the car crash, understandably. Do help yourself to a donut.
This is so very sad. You get so close to your parishioners and... Well, I know you feel the same, Sarah. I always say, you have a heart as big as the Cotswolds.
Oh.
I do have another donut.
Sibylla was very close to Chloe. It's me, isn't it? I mean, the chances, they're lovely. I'm just a horrible person. You're not horrible. Chloe's death really affected her. I don't know, survivor's guilt, maybe?
I do feel awful for being mean about them. Am I awful?
Yes. I'll get Tony or Harry to investigate this car crash a little more.
Well, I knew I'm horrible.
Mrs. Bloxby. Hi, would you mind giving Agatha and I a moment?
I really don't think that's a very good idea, do you, George? Sarah, get in the car.
I just want to talk. And keep the channels open between us.
I'm damn nervous about this, James.
Charles and James, it's time for Gilda's Germanic shamanic ritual. Please join the circle of love.
I've been looking online. Apparently some of these new agey, touchy-feely type events often generated a little more than an orgy.
Well, why didn't you say? Come on, James. You're single.
The shamanic ritual is centered around spiritual cleansing, but with the short time available, we concentrate on the basics. Retrieving power animals, returning soul parts by eating jam. Taste that jam. Feel the ancient fruits enliven your taste buds, reaching every part of your body. Now, with your other hand, I want you to reach out and touch your partner. And remember, do it with love.
Just like being back at boarding school, eh, Lacey?
Then I want you to swap partners and do the same again with everyone else.
No! Oh, dear.
You all right, my dear?
Yeah, just boyfriend trouble. Trixie?
Oh, yes. That's what my friends used to call me when I was young. I'm on parish angel shift, trying to keep the youngsters out of trouble. Make sure they drink plenty of water. Trixie's more approachable. I hope he turns up.
Bit early, isn't it?
Never have sex with a yoga teacher. Not without having a hell of a lot of yoga first.
If you've come around here just to tell me that... Look, this is from Bill. Sibylla had chloroform in her system when she died, and a pheromone called isopentyl acetate on her skin and clothes, which causes bees to attack. Which means she must have been murdered.
And I think I know who by. Gilda spent a lot of the evening talking about an ex-boyfriend of hers. Jealous, violent, controlling, after her money. It was George.
Hi.
Selby.
You got a hairdryer? I was mad after Chloe died. Grief-stricken, self-destructive. But was I jealous and controlling or violent? No. And I was not after Gilda's money. The truth is, she was after mine. Wanted me to invest in her wellness centre. Did she mention that one to you?
Okay, she might have mentioned something about that, while we were, well, while I was showing her around Barfield last night. But, only in passing, and she never asked me for money.
She's a classy lady, Sir Giles. Waits till the second date before hitting on you for hundreds of thousands of pounds. She's the gold digger. Now, you came here to warn Agatha off me when really I should be warning you off Gilda.
Did you sedate Sibylla to make it look like her death by bee stings was an accident?
Sibylla was my dear friend. I adored her. Why would I kill her? Now, I have to go. Reverend Charles is going to help me with my eulogy for Sibylla's funeral.
Oh, maybe not right now.
Admirable restraint, Agatha. Well done.
Maybe later.
Hello.
Hi, Charlie.
Avengers assemble. It's time to activate Operation Scoundrel.
Right. Find out everything you can about Gilda Brenson's finances. And our plans for a fancy wellness yoga center. Where did all the others?
Dunno.
So, show of hands.
Can I just say, before we vote, I have grave qualms about Operation Scoundrel. Agatha's instincts haven't let us down yet. And George Selby is a decent sort, has had a tough time, and I, for one, am very pleased that he and Agatha have found happiness together.
When this is all over, I've got a great therapist I'm dragging you to.
Look, there are just too many questions and rumours about George Selby to be ignored.
Absolutely. And if Agatha weren't so infatuated with him, she'd see that for herself.
Hands up those who agree.
Operation Scoundrel is live. Ooh, I'm going to get T-shirts made up.
Don't mind me, gentlemen. More donations.
How's the eulogy go?
Nearly there, thanks to you. How's the sermon?
Oh, struggling for inspiration, but might just find some via another bite of Maggie's delicious donuts.
because we're going to be late for the funeral.
Just come in!
Oh, excuse me. I wonder if I could have a quiet word.
Of course, Sir Charles. Which quiet word would you like?
My colleagues and I were wondering if you would be interested in bringing your considerable inside knowledge to bear on a little side investigation.
Oh, yes, please. I'd love to help Team Agatha with another case.
It's actually Team Scoundrel, code name for our little side project that you'd be helping, so perhaps we should leave it.
Oh, no, Agatha, Smagatha. I'm Team Scoundrel, my friend. Team Scoundrel till I die.
Excellent. So, the scoundrel that we're investigating is, George Selby. Can you remember any police inquiries that might have involved him?
Oh, yeah, loads of them. No, actually, sorry, nothing. Not a sausage. But do let me know if there's any more help I can give Team Scoundrel.
Brilliant.
Gilda.
Mrs. Razor.
Oh, Reverend, I need to talk to someone about Dr. Stevens' murder case.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. I have vital information regarding the death of Dr. Stevens.
What is it?
I can't tell you here. It's far too indiscreet. See me after the funeral.
You wanted to talk to me, Agatha Raisin?
Indeed I do.
Are you talking to me as a detective or as the jealous new girlfriend of my loathsome old boyfriend?
Oh, purely in a professional capacity, I assure you.
Shame.
You confirmed to Charles that your little disagreement with Maggie was to do with the ingredients that she used in the Wellness Day masterclass.
Yes, it was. My jams are made using natural ingredients. Maggie insisted on using, well, chemicals.
I presume you've seen the video on Carsley Capers of Sibylla and the doctor arguing.
Oh, hell yes. I shared it on my socials.
Any idea how they knew each other? What the argument was about?
Well, I can think of a million reasons to argue with the mad doctor, but Sibylla, I've no idea. Though it did look like an argument to kill for.
Of which speaking, what did you fall out with the mad doctor about?
I provided an alternative to her lab-concocted methods. She didn't appreciate losing the patients.
I think we should, shall we,
Divine sustenance. Forgive the gluttony, Lord. Forgive me twice. Dear friends, we're gathered together on this sad day to mourn the death and also to celebrate the life of our beloved Sibylla.
I spoke to the wife of the other driver in the car crash that killed Chloe Selby. A week before the accident, her husband, half-blind 82-year-old Joseph Judd, was past fit to drive by his doctor, Murray Stevens. That's what they must have been arguing about. That's what Sibylla's motive was for wanting Dr. Stevens dead. That's the connection we've been looking for. It's good news.
Yes. Yes, it is. However, if that's the case, then there's one other person who would have the same motive for killing Dr. Stevens. And that is...
And now to read the eulogy of a very dear friend, George Selby.
This is the second time in 12 months I've stood here giving a eulogy for someone I love deeply. Of course, Sibylla and Chloe loved each other very deeply as well. It was the honor and privilege of my life to be devoted to them both.
Hypocrite! You weren't devoted to them. Everyone here is thinking, oh, poor George, but the truth is, all the time you were cheating on Chloe with Sibylla. And then you were cheating on Sibylla with me.
And then you cheated on Gilda and Sibylla with me. I know it's wrong, but he's so charming and has such soft lips.
I sat there, day after day, week after week, on that couch, listening to you tell me how important it was for me to learn to control my emotions, and all the time, you were shagging after Cotswolds, including my sister! You had it down from that pulpit, yeah, and you take your beating like a man!
I can explain, Agatha.
You seem to have an explanation for everything. So tell me, please, George, is all this true?
Depends what you call all.
Maggie, do your worst.
Oh, yeah, get down.
Maggie.
Get down! Arthur!
Oh, Arthur. 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 Darling. Arthur.
Team Scoundrel, cover all the exits. Make sure nobody leaves. Text. Oh, we've got some good news. The Chief Constable tells me that it was the water that the judges were using as a palate cleanser that got spiked with a hallucinogenic. So, I am no longer a suspect, and my suspension from duty is over.
What the hell is Team Scoundrel?
This may be a good time to tell you that I'm engaged to be married.
Reverend Chance had a history of severe asthma. Now, that looked like he went into anaphylactic shock to me.
I don't know how he died, but I think it's something a lot more complicated than just asthma. Clearly, all the deaths are connected.
Okay. Yeah, it's just my instincts are a bit off at the moment.
Yeah. Gotta be honest with you, so are mine. Something going on with you and Tony.
Well, I seem to be getting everything wrong, and I don't know how to make it right.
It's quite simple, really. Just make her feel special. Tell her how she makes you feel.
Before it's too late.
Ah, Team Scoundrel, I presume.
You only had your best interests at heart.
Can I just say, I only joined the team after pressure.
Oh, man up, James. Be honest about your decisions. Least of all, your secret engagement.
You've not been yourself recently. You've been distracted.
That may well be the case. But what I don't like is all this cloak and dagger business, all this furtive creeping around behind my back.
Fair enough. We shall disband Team Scoundrel and come back and work for you.
No, thank you. George may be a scoundrel. He may even be a murderer. But from here on in, I think I feel far more comfortable investigating with people who haven't actually deceived me, like Tony and Harry.
So what do we do now?
Well, if we can't join them, we beat them. I don't trust Agatha to bring George Selby to justice. I say we continue our investigation.
Operation Scoundrel rights again.
Apparently, the Reverend ate some jam donuts that were left in the sacristy.
Revenge is sweet and dusted in icing sugar.
So, Maggie poisoned the Reverend. Maggie didn't make these. Apparently. Or so she says. Well, it looks like he scoffed a lot. But as last meals go, I'd be happy with a donut.
We need to talk to Maggie. Harry, could you...
Yep. Copy that.
Are you not happy with my work?
Oh, Sibylla hated jam. That's the same jam that I saw at Sibylla's house on the day she died. She told me she did not like jam and she wouldn't have it in the house, she said.
So you think Sibylla's death and the Reverends are connected?
Yes, yes, I do. And maybe even Dr. Stevens. The question is how.
Agatha.
No, I don't want to hear you, George. It's no longer any concern of mine who you slept with or who you didn't. What I do want to know is, did you conspire to kill Dr. Stevens?
No, why would I or we do that?
Because if it wasn't for her, then Joseph Judd, the half-blind ancient driver of the other car, would not have been responsible for the death of someone you loved.
Therapy teaches you there's no point in holding on to vengeful feelings. You have to move on.
Do you recognise this jam?
No.
Well, it was found at the scene of both Sibylla and the Reverend's death. Oh, George, if you had anything to do with either, please tell me.
No. Look, I'm weak. I've been a fool, but I promise you, I am not a murderer.
George Selby. I'd like you to accompany us to the station for questioning on your involvement in the possible murder of the Reverend Arthur Chance.
Well, this is nonsense, Agatha. Arthur wasn't murdered by me or anyone else. We watched him drop dead of an asthma attack. And he was a dear friend of mine. Why would I want him dead?
Because he was about to report you to the police for stealing £7,000 worth of charity donations from the great Cotswold Jam-Off.
Excuse me?
I did not take that money.
What about the £2,000 that went missing last year from the Comfrey Magna Parish Fund?
OK, I did take that money, yes. I repaid every penny. Did Patricia Chance tell you this by any chance?
I'm not telling you what Patricia Chance told me, if indeed she told me anything.
I'll let you know when we have a cause of death for the Reverend.
Agatha, please, help me. Do you really think I killed the Reverend?
Who knows, George? You know, Charles said to me that my relationship with you was clouding my judgment, and I can't tell you how annoying it is when he is proved right.
Shall we?
Right. Operation Scoundrel. First case conference. Where do we start?
Well, Agatha normally kicks off by listing the suspects.
So, the scoundrel himself. Maggie Tubby, still on the list. Also, the gold digger, Gilda Branson.
Oh, hi, guys. Oh, don't mind the gold digger. Just heating up some lentils for lunch.
Carry on.
Gilda is one of the suspects.
She's one of Agatha's suspects. She's not one of mine. She's been very traumatized by all of these souls departing. She's not been able to self-care for her deep self. Something. So anyways, she's moved in.
Charles, I don't think Agatha or Bill, or even Wilkes for that matter, would let a suspect cook lentils or indeed any edible legume during a case conference.
Right. I'll have a word.
I'm sure the secret to all of this is the crash. The question is who to talk to.
Who to talk to? Who to talk to? Who to talk to?
Can you just sit down like a normal detective?
Sibylla's dead. George is in custody. The only other source we have is Cotswold Jam Fiend.
Well, I did try to say earlier, I've set up a blog called Evesham Wildwisher. I posted a link to it on Carsley Capers saying that Cotswold Jam Fiend is a total faker who doesn't know anything about these murders. There's currently no takers, but I'm going to post again.
Right. Well, How's this going to help us find out the identity of Cotswold Jam Fiend?
When someone visits the blog, they leave an IP address that tracks the location from where they posted. We could compile a list of likely addresses.
Yeah, I know. I'm already on it.
Right, well, call me old-fashioned. Don't. But I would like you to taste your legs and go to the exact location of where the Cotswold thingamywhat's-it lives.
Which is?
Maggie Tubby's farm.
Are we sure that it's Maggie Tubby?
Well, we're not entirely sure, but we have to start somewhere. Plus, Gilda Branson told me that she fell out with Maggie because, why, I hear you ask, she was using chemicals in her jam.
I forgot to say, at Sybilla's funeral, I saw Maggie Tubby put a test tube in her pocket.
Excuse me? So maybe this is the same chemical that was found in the jam that killed Reverend Chance.
And possibly all the others.
And maybe she was using the Cotswold Jam Fiend persona in order to avoid suspicion and implicate others. You see? Still got the old magic. Right, off we go to Maggie Tubby's farm. Meanwhile, I talk to Patricia Chance about George.
Team Scoundrel. You're gonna have to come back later. Our investigation started first and therefore takes priority.
But your investigation hasn't solved the case, so I think our new investigation should take priority. Quick, everybody hide from the official investigation.
How about we put our differences aside and all investigate together?
George used to be the treasurer for the parish council.
I wonder why he isn't now.
Everybody thinks that Chloe was a saint and George cheated on her. But the truth is, Chloe had a shopping addiction. They were going to lose the house. Arthur found out that George had taken the money, but he didn't go to the police on condition that George return the money and resigned as treasurer.
So you told the police just now that George had taken the money because you think he killed your husband?
Oh, Lord, no. They were dear friends. Arthur had terrible asthma and allergies. I'm sure that's what it must have been.
What were the chemicals you used in the masterclass at Gilda's Wellness Day?
I poached my jam in liquid nitrogen. It's a party trick. That hypocrite says she uses natural ingredients, yeah. Well, my ingredients are just as natural as hers.
What do you know about the pheromone serpentyl acetate?
Sweet FA, my handsome young friend.
You had a test tube of something at Sybilla's funeral. An identical test tube was found at the jam off. Did you spike the water that the judges drank?
Did you poison Reverend Chance?
You've got me. The game's up.
Well, to be fair, it was a group effort. Maggie, no!
Oh, relax. It's vodka. I do freelance work for Alveston's. A test tube. So much better than a hip flask, wouldn't you say?
Just one more thing. Do you recognise this jam?
Oh, aye, of course. It's Gilda Branson's.
The blue label's her trademark. The day after poor Dr. Stevens died, I saw Gilda disposing of a batch of those jars in a bin on the high street.
How about jam and toast for us to take back up to bed?
Gilda, darling. Very happy to go up to bed, but just wondered if we might sleep a little before continuing our hugely inventive lovemaking tomorrow.
Of course.
More jam. Strong taste.
That's because it's a natural flavour. Off to bed we go. You can have a nice, long sleep.
Charles?
Charles is asleep. Passed out after breakfast in bed.
I don't suppose that breakfast consisted of jam by any chance, did it? Charles? Charles? Charles?
You've killed him!
Oh, God, you're annoying, but I don't want you to die!
Agatha. How am I annoying? Ow.
Agatha! Agatha! Meet me at the community hall.
There was a harmless aphrodisiac in Charles's jam. It perks him up.
I do not need perking up. Tell her, Agatha, I don't need perking up in the bed department, do I?
I'm going to pretend you didn't ask me that. Recognise this?
Where the hell did you get that?
Did you or did you not spike the palate cleanser with a psychedelic drug, causing Dr. Stevens to jump from the roof?
And me to make an absolute tit of myself.
And because you'd spiked your own jams, you had to get rid of the evidence in a litter bin.
What? No, I didn't do that.
Oh, really? Because Patricia Chance saw you do it.
I didn't poison anyone. I needed that prize money for my wellness centre. It isn't easy building up a business based on natural organic ingredients. I threw the jars from the jam off away because I cheated by using an artificial sweetener. Not honey, like I told Sibylla. I knew if I got caught, my dreams of a wellness centre would be over.
Well, I don't believe you. Because what was the same jam doing at Sibylla's house that was in the sacristy the day that Reverend Chance was killed?
I told you. I put the blue label jars in a bin and I walked away. Trixie's always had it in for me.
Who's Trixie?
Patricia. Patricia Chance. Trixie, as we always called her at uni. We were in a throuple together for a while with a guy, but then he dumped Trixie because he wanted to go exclusive with me. Oh, don't let that prim vicar's wife act fool you. Trixie's a real party girl.
Agatha?
Sweet dreams of jam.
Where's Agatha?
Who cares about her? Who would have wanted to kill Arthur? But then who would have wanted to kill Sibylla?
What?
I've just remembered. I would. And well wishes. At it again. Excuse me, while I go and tell this little upstart exactly what I think of them.
Hello? Patricia!
Patricia not in. We were just coming round to offer our condolences.
Yeah, always fond of the Rev.
Any idea where she could be if she's not here?
When Chloe was alive, you could always find her and Patricia at the community hall.
Everything seems to connect to Chloe Selby. But what connects Patricia to Chloe?
Well, they were having an affair.
I'm sorry, what?
They're always hooking up at the community hall. Volunteering, they called it.
Blimey, are there any other secret village affairs you haven't mentioned to me?
I shouldn't gossip, but it's probably nothing to do with the case.
It's probably everything to do with the case. If Patricia was in love with Chloe, then that gives her a motive for the murder of Dr. Stevens.
Well, like I said, Patricia will probably be at the community hall.
Patricia?
Agatha!
George?
Agatha!
Call me Trixie.
You were having an affair with Chloe, weren't you? You killed Dr. Stevens because you blamed her for Chloe's death.
You were having an affair with Chloe?
So much more than that. I lived for that angel. So when she died, I remember after the accident, I remember hearing that the old man was only driving because of that quack Stevens. I knew then I'd kill her.
So why wait? Why not just do away with her there and then?
Revenge is a dish best served with jam. I was heartbroken. If Chloe died the day of the jam-off, then so would Stevens. I spiked the judge's drinking water with drugs I'd confiscated when I was parish angel. Led Stevens up to the scaffolding. One push, and job done. Rather like now.
Ooh, Cotswold Jam Fiend just posted on the blog.
Evesham Wowwisher is an ignorant coward who'd run for miles if they came across a real murder.
Where are you going?
Back to Maggie Tubby's farm. The IP address is there, no?
No. It's Comfrey Magna. That's the IP address of the community hall.
You go ahead, I'll hold the fort.
Yep.
You're not going to get away with this, you know.
I don't care. It's a shame you won't be around to read my final post. The one where I confess to all the murders, including yours. Say hello to Cotswold Jam Fiend, by the way.
No!
Please!
No!
Please don't kill me!
Why not? You and Sibylla betrayed Chloe by having an affair. Then you faked the cause of her death.
God, I love Chloe, despite what you think, Patricia. But what would have been the point in Sibylla's life being ruined as well? She'd been drinking that night. That's why I told the police I was driving.
Oh, George.
Oh, George, indeed. Was he being noble? Or just stupid?
Stupid.
Noble.
Either way, Sibylla had to die. You haven't asked me about Arthur, by the way.
Oh, I don't need to. Because I know you laced his donuts with nuts.
He knew how much I loved Chloe. Once he'd found out that Sibylla's death was not a tragic accident, he all but worked out the truth. Anyway, the game's up now. But I'm going to take you two with me. Bye!
No! No!
Too late, losers.
Your beloved Agatha's been turned into jam.
Put the fork down.
Where's everybody's favourite vicar's wife?
Right here.
Raisin compote, Combeton.
Got here in the nick of time. Case solved.
Maybe when everyone's finished gawping, you could extricate me from this predicament?
At your service.
So, Patricia is safely behind bars, and George Selby has confessed to lying to the police about the car accident.
Well, I won't be visiting him in prison.
Glad to hear it. Sadly, Gilda and I have broken up.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. What do you think of Harry?
Oh, you know, he's top of the class.
Oh, he's the new boy. I was just being encouraging. I love both my children equally.
I know I let you down that night, and I keep letting you down. Always busy and unromantic. I'm just a no-fun country boy detective. I'm sorry, but to make it up to you, I've booked 2 weeks off work, and Agatha's given you the time off too, and I'm whisking you off somewhere hot. No phones, no work, just me and you.
Oh, look. Love's young dream. How are you doing, Love's old dream?
Love's middle-aged from me, you don't mind. Sorry about George.
Oh, don't be. Just another of my romantic disasters. Stupidly, I thought with him being a therapist, we might be able to have an emotionally healthy relationship. I was very wrong. But I think I've learned my lesson.
Until next time.
You know me too well.
I wanted to ask you something. Will you come to my wedding?
Yes. Yes, of course I will, James. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
I know how hard that was for you.
That was very brave, old friend.
For the record, I wouldn't go to the wedding if you weren't going.
Rubbish.
It's true. If I didn't have that PR junket in Miami, I would love to have a gander at... What's the mystery girl's name?
Erwin.
Erwin?
Erwin? Well, I think we'd all like a gander at Erwin. Right, so, what are we all wearing then?
Mankini, Wong in a